All right, class is in session. Brought to you by the new Faro's Lounge Kickstarter. 16-7. I like to try and get to 20. I got 2 weeks left, 14 days for the anti-Valentine 6. Really quick, see if we can peek down and show. Ooh, really quick. Mickey and Snow White. It's a very disturbing cover. Anyway, we have reached the halfway point of our AracKnight Chapter 1 script. We are 12 pages in, pages 1 and 2. We introduce Peter, the scientist's parents, the Empire City backdrop multiverse thing going on. Peter hangs out with Uncle Ben, who will be his Alfred. Aunt May is passed. Peter is bitten by a spider that his parents are experimenting on, trying to re-establish the secret soldier serum, super soldier serum. Experimenting on all sorts of specimens provided by, we learn, on pages 11 and 12, is Kraven the Hunter, Sergei Klevanov. On pages 3 and 4, Peter's 8. He's been bitten by the spider. Power is starting to kick in. He's ice skating. He crashes into his shack. His parents are walking him home. And a la Bruce Wayne in Crime Alley, we have a young chameleon thug who's trying to steal their formula, kills the parents. Before he can kill Peter, Peter activates his chemical gas. The chameleon runs away. Peter is left with his dead parents. We jump 8 years to him in high school, kind of being like an emo on his own, writing in his journals, drawing pictures. Some kids mess with him. In terms of messing with them back, he puts one in the hospital, so he's got to lay low. His uncle tells him to take off for a little while, go see the world, go find himself. Peter takes off. Again, we have him flying over. We could have him flying over Latveria. You know, thought maybe we could add a little thing. I mean, I've been reading Fantastic Four comic books. Getting myself all caught up to the Galactus saga before the movie comes out. Reading up on the past, if you will. Like a college professor, we like to read ahead. The idea is you get your homework assignment to read the night before. This way you're all caught up. All right. On pages 7 and 8, we got up to it. Peter having to take off for a little while. His Uncle Ben telling him, look, you're kind of got all this angst. You're depressed. Get the fuck out of Empire City. Peter starts working. All right, so we have him working on a treasure salvage ship. Now, again, if you read early Fantastic Four, they get into Latveria, with Doctor Doom's castle. Doctor Doom, in their first encounter together, makes them travel back in time to steal gems from Blackbeard's treasure. The thing ends up being Blackbeard. Point is, I knew I got the pirates from somewhere. Traveling the world. Okay, we show Peter the ancient ruins of a fallen steampunk empire, all while in a hot air balloon taking pictures. We can see the castle of Latveria in the distance. We should put it up there. We can see the castles of Latveria in the distance. Or he's over the ruins of Valyria, of old Valyria. Have a little Game of Thrones tie-in, maybe, maybe not, who the fuck knows. We're playing around here. Point is, Peter goes off and finds a passion for photography. He's working with a salvage crew, unearthing a treasure from Atlantis. They are, of course, come across by pirates, which, of course, we're also going to learn later on here. And we establish these next 2 pages that Kraven set the whole thing up. Kraven is responsible for the deaths of Peter's salvage crew. He's annoyed. He's like, I'm not like you, Kraven. I'm not some bloodless knight. Peter wakes up in a cold sweat. Kraven finds him washed up along the beach. Again, they were salvaging some ancient ruins from Atlantis. These pirates happen upon him. They capture the crew. Peter tries to fight back. He takes out the pirates, but one of the pirates ignites all the explosives. Both ships explode. Everyone's killed except Peter. He's left at sea for dead. He washes along the shore of the savage land where Kraven finds him, wakes him up. Peter sees that Kraven lives in a pretty badass, like little fucking jungle tree hut, tree lounge, tree villa. And Kraven, we have a little montage here where Kraven mentors him a little. He's swinging through the fucking jungle like Tarzan. Remember, he doesn't have his web shooters yet, but he's swinging on vines. Like Shia LaBeouf in Indiana Jones in the awful movie. We wanted to do kind of like a Luke and Dagobah thing here. Peter and Kraven wrestling in hand-to-hand combat, like, Kraven showing Peter how to wrestle and fight. They're hanging upside down in a hunter-like vampire position as they are meditating and stalking. We show a close-up of Peter hanging off a large curved concave cliff. He's hanging by one finger. He's kind of doing that Tom Cruise and Mission Impossible 2 shit. Craven showing Peter how to make small explosion of powder and fire, almost like an uncle and nephew working on a science experiment. We need to show them getting close. This way it'll hurt a little more when Craven turns on. We finish with Peter and Craven sitting over a boiling cauldron over steaming fire. Peter finally comes out and asks, "Who killed my parents, Kravinoff?" When the Empire, Peter, when the Empire City left the Union and became its own free, independent kingdom, the rest of the nation fell into civil war, wiped out half of the population. Those that survived were forced to brave the urban jungle that remained, but not every knight is as gifted as us. Civil war? Kravinoff, how old are you? Old enough to know that there's another war coming, and if you're not prepared, you will be a slave. So choose your place, Peter, among the men or among the masses. Close up on Craven, the fire reflecting in his eyes, make an almost demonic image as Craven stares down Peter. Who is the war with? Who is the enemy, Kravinoff? Death. Ooh, he looks him right in the fucking eyes and says, death. Basically telling him, Peter, we need to live forever. Now, if there was a concurrent storyline going on, we can cut away, make a time jump. But all we really have here, this is linear. We're kind of going linear here. So we're not too complicated. When we get into our more advanced comic book writing, we can jump around more. But again, this is comics on a computer. You can change scenes. You can throw scenes in the way. But as of right now, this is an AracKnight story. We're not going to the Chameleon to do anything right now. So we have pages 13 and 14 laid out here. Let's see what we got. And then today we're going to read Amazing Spider-Man issues 13 and 14 to write pages 13 and 14 in our script. 13, panel 1. Craven revealing his plan to Peter, saying that training was also his way of observing and finding a weakness. He will either blackmail him or force him via serum or hypnosis to harvest his blood and venom in parts. Something demonic and spider occult related where Peter will have to escape one more time. Craven and Peter battle over the morality and cross lines of their beliefs. Craven will challenge Peter by saying he has no one to protect, that Empire City brushed off his parents' deaths, and they were never avenged. Peter's guilt is his weakness. Peter will have to get over his guilt to beat Craven and move on. Peter will see him die. Perhaps either Craven or the Chameleon will come back. Chameleon can hate his father and almost demonically thank Peter for killing him, if he is truly dead. At some point, Craven will reveal that he has been hunting Peter for some time, observing him. Craven will let it slip that he led the pirates to Peter. Oh, I spelled that wrong. And is responsible for the deaths of the salvage crew, claiming them as casualties of war. Craven will hunt Peter in the classic Bond villain style. Peter will use what Craven has taught him and defeat him. Craven will die here decisively or in an air of mystery, so when Chameleon reappears, he will fuck with Peter, who saw Craven die. We must give Craven a good death. A knight's death. The battle with Craven will leave Peter satisfied with the form of closure on his parents' death, and I will get a lead, perhaps from a dying Craven, who won't tell Peter that Dimitri is his son. He will just give the name. Tell me, Craven, you know the knight's code. You speak of a knight's code, then honor it. Tell me his name. Dimitri. And Craven will either die or plummet as the branch breaks and he falls to his death, snapping his neck against the rock, either death to look decisive, or perhaps somewhat mysterious. So that is our goal today, class. Pages 13 and 14. Let's do a little reading, shall we? Source material, we go to Amazing Spider-Man 13. The Menace of Mysterio. Now, again, if you did your homework, you'll know that this all begins with Spider-Man being set up, which again, we go into the theme of what we're doing at the end here, of Spider-Man being a wanted outlaw, Chameleon kind of pinning the sabotage on Spider-Man, even though Spider-Man will save the day. There will be footage that will either be used or doctored by J. Jonah Jameson to make Spider-Man an outlaw. Wanted. This story, this AracKnight story, must end with him wanted by the Empire City Police. It's the bittersweet ending. We needed him to get the girl, to get all the badass shit, but I don't want the whole Nick Fury shows up in his fucking apartment and says, "Come on, man. I want to tell you about the Avengers Initiative." Because I want to establish that Spider-Man would be the first hero in our new Faro polluted, perverted universe. So we see that Mysterio is using Spider-Man like shit. The parachutes. We know it's Spider-Man. Sooner or later, I never thought he'd actually turn to crime. So everybody's talking about Spider-Man being a crook. Betty Brant's like, holy shit. But I mean, he saved my life, even though I hate him for getting my husband killed here. So now I was thinking, okay, if you get to Amazing Spider-Man 25 and they start introducing Mary Jane, you got Liz Allen here, who's Spider-Man's first crush. You got Betty Brant, who is Spider-Man's first love, Peter Parker's first girlfriend, love, and you have Mary Jane, who of course becomes his true love. They're introduced before Gwen Stacy. If you're taking the order of women in Spider-Man's life, Liz Allen, Betty Brant, Mary Jane. I was looking ahead a little bit because basically our goal here by the end of this class is to get to Amazing Spider-Man 25 once we start making our covers and layouts. And I ended up seeing that it was Liz Allen and Betty Brant sort of fighting over Peter, and they are the first ones to see Mary Jane, which is behind a plant. And of course, we see Mary Jane for the first time in Amazing Spider-Man 42, the Anne Margaret, the Angie Dickinson thing going on. So I'm thinking about doing a strip poker, like a naughty pajama party. Liz Allen, Betty Brant, Mary Jane, having my man Renato do it. Renato just finished for next month's Pixie Runner cover a gorgeous strip poker theme with Superman. The new Superman movie is the theme. Ha! So you see how I get my commission ideas? Peter knows he's not committing the crimes, thinks he's going fucking crazy. He says, you know what, I'm just going to go to a therapist and figure out what the hell's going on. But the guy flips out. Come on, you're the client of my dreams. We have to look through a lot of these older issues because I need some pictures of Betty Brant. If I'm going to do this Liz Allen, Betty Brant, Mary Jane strip poker party, I need three pictures of each, three decisive pictures of each because I'm a numerology nut and I love the number three. So, Liz Allen. But I think we'll go with the old hair. Liz Allen now has a crush on Peter. Mysterio shows up. This is very reminiscent of how Jake Gyllenhaal shows up in Spider-Man Homecoming. I thought it was a badass movie. Jake Gyllenhaal killed it. So again, we're writing our origin story and we're going through source material. A lot of our source material is essentially the introductions of all the villains, which if you're a Spider-Man fan and you do your back reading, you know it's fun. Mysterio is a master of illusions, a hypnotist. There was always the rumor they were going to use Bruce Campbell to play him, but make it more comical. Whereas if you did it right, like I feel like Marvel did, you can make Mysterio a badass villain, like they do here. I mean, again, usually the formula is the villain shows up, boasts a little bit, beats the shit out of Spider-Man. Spider-Man's going to go back to the lab like the A-Team, make a fucking plan, figure out how to save the fucking day, and he does. Flash, of course, doesn't fucking fall in. He introduces Mysterio, J. Jonah Jameson. He throws the Spider Tracer on him. Of course, we'll have to play that into our Batman costumes later on, but unnoticed by anyone in the room, Parker's left hand contains a small electronic ally treated spider pin. Just slip it on the thing. Peter, of course, is wearing suits. We got Betty Brant. So again, I'm thinking about doing a Betty Brant, Liz Allen, Mary Jane Watson strip poker piece to celebrate as one, and it'll end up being one of my AracKnight covers. Oh yes, this has to happen then. If we're doing an AracKnight fucking Kickstarter for this comic book and this playlist, he introduces himself, Quentin Beck. I spent many long weeks studying all your powers, all of your abilities, everything that was known about you. I was sure I could duplicate your feats. Whatever man Spider-Man does naturally, I will do artificially. Using the skill I acquired designing movie props, I made a gun which fired a nylon cord resembling your own web. I designed shoes and gloves with special suction cups, enabling me to cling to walls. It's amazing how they just all just figure out how to be fucking Spider-Man in 5 seconds. My helmet is based on the principle of your eyepieces. I can see out, but no one can see in. I created a fine spray made of specially treated acid. Why doesn't this guy use his powers for good? Go work for Stark. Well, I guess in the movie, he did. So fuck me. I just walked right into that fucking trap, didn't I? But again, goes to show that there are bright spots in Marvel, even if, oh god, I know Marvel kind of sucks now. I'm hearing all these mixed reviews on Brave New World. I want to see it because I want to see the Red Hulk, but I feel like the Red Hulk they just threw that in at the end. They gave you everything. That's how fucked up they are, you know. So I kind of like it. Spider-Man and Mysterio finished this particular fight on a New York movie set or a TV set where they're shooting the sci-fi, which I kind of like. Again, it's great that Ditko and Lee were able to kind of have a lot of fun, get very colorful with not just the backdrops. where they're not just brawling in an empty place. The idea was, they bring in that WWE, fucking Falls Count Anywhere. You nincompoop, the greatest action scene in history. You didn't even get it on film. So we have fun here. Peter, of course, comes in. Spider-Man threatens him, shoots him up the wall. Heck no, Flash. Personally, I wouldn't trust him any further than I could throw him. A poor Flash, if he only knew the real identity of his favorite hero, it would be worth anything to tell him someday, just to watch him explode. But that day is still in the future. Until then, fate may have many more surprises in store for Spidey. Next issue, we present another book-length adventure with an unexpected guest star. We think you'll like it. We'll see you then. So again, if you're running to run alongside the Marvel Universe and read it in linear order, they present it here with the ads they used to use here at the back, where they're promoting X-Men, they're promoting Avengers. Tales to astonish, journey into mystery, giants walk the earth. Strange tales, tales of suspense. So you have a lot of avenues to go down with this method. You read one of the comic books, you write a page. Every comic book you read is 21 to 24 pages of adventure. You got to pull 6 panels out of it. Get the idea for 6 panels. And if not, you get the idea for commissions. We literally have our third commission. We were going to do 3 covers. We're going to do 3 covers for our AracKnight Kickstarter. Slave Leia, of course, which would be a classic. Mary Jane as Slave Leia, steel bikini, with a frozen Spider-Man. Right? We now have our 3 covers. Well, why am I even writing it down like a schmuck when I can put it in the file? Which we'll put here at the back when we move our notes to the next section. We now have our 3 covers. I'm a numerology guy. I like making 3 covers. 3 variant covers. Cover 1. Slave Leia, steel bikini, Mary Jane, and Carbonite, frozen Spider-Man. Cover 2. Yakuza, sex slave, Spider-Gwen. Covered in Spider-Man, multiverse tattoos. Cover 3. We now have Spider-Man retro strip poker. Liz Allen, Mary Jane Watson, and Betty Brant. See? Now we got to write page 13. We have our layout. Peter and Craven are sitting there by a campfire. Craven's doing some exhibition. Tell you about Spider-Man 14. All right, so we'll do 14 next. We got to write 13 first, and then we'll pop through 14, where we have the first appearance of the Green. This is a fucking great issue. This is a classic. This is the first appearance of the Green Goblin. Convinces Spider-Man to work on a movie. He brings the enforcers in. They run out this New Mexico. All this crazy shit's going down, and the fucking Hulk pops up. I fucking love that the Hulk pops up. I was just reading old Fantastic Four comics when they started doing the advertisements for the Hulk. Now the Hulk comes in here. So tonight I'm gonna have to sit and read. Got to read some old Hulks. It's got to be done. Hulk commission in our future, ladies and gentlemen. We got to have some sort of Bruce Banner Easter egg we can throw into our story. You don't force an Easter egg. You weave it into the story. It's more fun that way. It's more of a challenge. All right. Death. That's how we left off. Peter said, "What is the war, Craven? What are we at war with? Who is the enemy?" Craven says, "Death." We cut to the outside of a smoking hut. Of a smoking teepee hut. Where we see Craven and Peter peering in from the outside, stalking forward, just peering from the outside. We cut to the outside of a smoking jungle hut. We see smokes, steam coming through. We see Craven and Peter peering in from the outside. Craven's going to tell Peter a lie about how they have to go in there Craven could just straight up lie to him and say, the man that killed your parents is in there. Well, this is when he starts describing what happens. Craven and Peter will stalk forward, and Craven will turn on Peter. Peter will wake up, tied down, and about to be harvested. All right, so let's just write it. We cut to the outside of a smoking jungle hut where we see Craven and Peter peering in from the outside. Craven does some exposition. The evolution of man began here. The evolution of our people, of our kind, began here. Man first walked out of the woods. When man first walked out of the woods, he was no more than a meal to a dominant species. The evolution of our kind began here. When man first walked out of the woods, he was no more than a meal to a dominant species. He was no more than a meal. He was no more than a target, a meal to a dominant species. It was when we learned how to hunt that we gained superiority. But there were those who theorized that what if we could take the best of the beasts? But there were those who theorized that what if we could take, there were those who theorized that what if we could take the best of the beasts and merge it into man, and merge it into a man's blood. That's how gods are born. That's how gods are created. And Peter will reply, or monsters. That's how gods are created, or monsters. Where are you taking me? Where are you taking me, Krevenov? Craven and Peter will stalk forward. And Craven will turn on Peter. Not yet. He can't turn on him right in that panel. He's got to turn on him on the next panel. Craven and Peter stalk forward. Inside that tinted cauldron, you will find the answers. You will find the answer that you've been seeking. Inside that tinted cauldron, you will find the answer that you've been seeking. You will find the cult that worships. You will find the cult that worships the dark gods. Inside that tented cauldron, you will find the answer you've been seeking. You will find the cult. You will find the cult that worships the dark gods. You will find the formula. You will find the formula. Whereas you, or the term that you like to use, the equation. The equation for immortality. Inside that tinted cauldron, you will find the answer that you've been seeking. You will find the cult that worships the dark gods. You gotta use dark, you gotta capitalize that. Looks weird. Any word in front of God should be capitalized. You will find the formula or the term that you like to use. Well, you will find the formula or the term that you like to use, the equation. The equation for immortality. Close up on Peter, totally hypnotized by Craven's words. Let's have a drum beat. That fucking drumming. We cut the outside. We hear loud thumping drums. SFX of the drums. Thumping in rhythm. In powerful rhythm. The bass almost shaking the ground. He'll be able to do that. He'll almost like make the art look vibrating. Kind of like that. SFX of the drums, thumping in powerful rhythm. The bass almost shaking the ground. The evolution of our kind began here. When man first walked out of the woods, he was no more than a target, a meal to a dominant species. It was when we learned how to hunt that we gained superiority. But there were those who theorized that what if we could take the best of the beasts and merge it into a man's blood? That's how gods are created. Or monsters. Where are you taking me, Kravinoff? Inside that tented cauldron, you will find the answer that you've been seeking. You will find the cult that worships the dark gods. You will find the formula, or the term that you like to use, the equation. The equation for immortality. Close up on Peter, totally hypnotized by Craven's words. See, Peter should kind of run. I don't know. Peter should run him down after he captured them. Close up on Peter, totally hypnotized by Craven's words as he steps through the entrance of the hut. Like Cobra Kai, you know? I need those drums. Close up on Peter, totally hypnotized by Craven's words as he steps through the entrance of the hut. Give Craven one more line here. Craven's fucking with equation, the equation for immortality. You see, Peter, serum is technically a poison, a venom drawn from only the most dangerous creatures. You see, Peter, a serum is technically a poison, a venom drawn from only the most dangerous creatures on this planet and beyond. Most people, almost everyone and everything, almost everyone and everything, okay? See, Peter, a serum is technically a poison, a venom drawn from one of the most dangerous creatures on this planet and beyond. Almost everyone and everything it touches, it terminates. Failure of symbiotic, failure of a symbiotic connection. Almost everyone and everything it touches, it terminates. A smothering, a smothering, symbiotic, like, a little venom. He talks about venom in there a little bit. Almost everyone and everything it touches, it terminates. A symbiotic connection that turns to smothering and eventually rejection. You see, Peter, a serum is technically a poison, a venom drawn from one of the most dangerous creatures on this planet and beyond. Almost everyone and everything it touches, it terminates. A symbiotic connection that turns to smothering and eventually rejection. Once Peter enters the hut, he sees a small tribe of savages having a sweat lodge. In the center of the sweat lodge is a boiling cauldron, side of which we see a concoction brewing over a steaming cloud, under a steaming cloud, under a steaming cloud. So what? Just Craven's gonna knock him unconscious? I mean, what do we got here? Inside of which we see a concoction brewing under a steaming cloud. The cloud of steam seems to envelope Peter. Now we use that for the next panel. Once Peter, now the cloud of steam. Not yet. It should happen on the next panel. Once Peter enters the hut, we see a small tribe of savages having a sweat lodge. In the center of the sweat lodge is a boiling cauldron, inside of which we see a concoction brewing under a steaming cloud. They should have a carcass over it. Nah, not into a pig roast kind of thing. We see the carcass of a large snake serpent like creature hanging in the background, blood dripping from its wounds, like a vampire, like a vampire's victim. Like American Vampire. There we go. What did Craven Tomb say in this last panel here? Almost everyone and everything it touches, it terminates. A symbiotic connection that turns to smothering and eventually rejection. I have been coming here for many cycles. This tribe, this land, is the closest I can get to achieving that taste of immortality. I've been coming here for many cycles. This tribe, this land is the closest I can get to achieving that taste of immortality. But like many other creatures in the jungle, I have become immune. Not immune. What is it? Tolerant? But like many other creatures in the jungle, I'm aging. Nah, you shouldn't tell him that yet. I mean, he's got to tell him, but he's got to tell him when he's fucking tied up. He can't reveal his weakness until he has him down. I've been coming here for many cycles. This tribe, this land, is the closest I can get to achieving that taste of immortality. I think this is cheesy. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I've been coming here for many cycles. This tribe, this land, is the closest I can get to achieving that taste of immortality. But like many other creatures in the jungle, see, I think we need to get to Craven's appearance, which is pretty much the next issue. We need to jump ahead a little. Craven needs Peter's blood. Craven is aging. What can he say here? We got to translate this. Craven's got to tell Peter before he takes him out and fucking ties him up to have this tribe fucking slice him up. What does he say to him right before he tries to slice him up? Peter just walked in on a fucking tribe having a sweat lodge. Craven's setting him up. Hit him with some fucking snake venom. I've been coming here for many cycles. This tribe, this land, is the closest I can get to achieving that taste of immortality. But like many other creatures in the jungle, I have grown tolerant. But like many other creatures in the jungle, I have grown immune But like many other creatures in the jungle. That's what he refers to himself as, a creature in the jungle. This tribe, this land is the closest I can get to achieving that taste of immortality. But like many other creatures in the jungle. Let's take a look at Craven. Let's have a little fun. We're going to go blow through this. I'm going to jump ahead one issue because Craven's first appearance. Oh, my cooked Unity food's on the way. Good, yummy. All right, taking a ride here. This is a classic issue with the Green Goblin. It's kind of like a joke first, but he comes and he hires the enforcers who used to work for the big man. But now Green Goblin, he can, he's kind of Spider-Man's Joker, So they're making a movie here. He says, "Look, you got to put Spider-Man in your fucking movie. If only it was that goddamn easy." We got Liz Allen here. Peter's going off to Hollywood. Beat what time? I told you not to try to beat my time with Liz Allen. So Peter sees the Green Goblin. Green Goblin tells him, "Look, dude, let's make a fucking movie, you and me." Kind of cool when you think about it. All this time it was Harry Osborn. No, Norman Osborn. So Spider-Man, Spiderman agrees to do the movie. Betty Brant's all jealous because he's going off to Hollywood to meet with some people. We definitely got to get some of these pictures for the my artist on Instagram to start drawing all this shit up. Peter's going to do the movie. He doesn't realize that the enforcers and the Green Goblin are actors. They're not actors. They're really going to go there and beat the shit out of him. He agrees to have them go out here to the desert. The real reason I love this issue is because it cross promotes for the first time the Incredible Hulk popping up in a fucking Spider-Man comic book, which I always thought was so fucking badass. Spider-Man beats the shit out of him. Bolo's with the fucking thing. Aunt May's writing to him. Letter from Peter. Why would Peter, have we gotten any of your mail from Peter Parker yet? Why would he send mail to the fucking school if he hates all these people? Liz Allen looks good here. Betty Brant looks good here. This is when they're all trying to start rolling up on fucking Mary Jane. And I love, this is the classic. Spider-Man's going to hide. They stick a boulder over the thing. They're stalking him. They're looking to beat the shit out of him. And what shit happens? Spider-Man's jacking him in the fucking cave. I love that. Very Game of fucking Thrones. But what I love, he's hiding. He's looking around. He's beating the shit out of all of them. And then he steps into the wrong spot. The first time when I was a kid, this was my first time reading about the Hulk. Was him popping up in a spot. My first comic book introduction to the comic book world was Spider-Man. That's what I always loved about reading this issue. Takes you back. And when it clears, well, let's go back to previous. And then once again, the dense puff of smoke fills the shadowy cave from the stun bomb. And when it clears, Spider-Man's astonished eyes behold the strongest living being to walk the earth, appearing like a nightmarish colossus, his baleful eyes glowering with hatred and fury. The Incredible Hulk lunges forward. Holy Hannah, of all the caves to pick for a fight, we had to pick the one the Hulk was hiding in. No one captured or spurred but his burning hatred for the human race, the race which has hounded and tormented him. The rampaging green figure attacks without warning. Oh, Hulk comes in, fucks it up. Spider-Man tries to shoot some fucking spiders at him. Hulk fucking tears it in half like it's nothing. He fucking smashes everything in sight. Spider-Man punches him, nearly breaks his fucking hand. Hulk smashes all the boulders, clearing a path for Spider-Man to escape. This is them trying to get people to buy Hulk comic books the same way they're trying to get you to buy the Fantastic Four. As a matter of fact, if you read the old Fantastic Four comic books, it's non-stop writing of who is the Hulk, where is the Hulk, what is the Hulk. And this is the rub. The first few issues didn't sell well because they really didn't know how to write it. It was just lock Bruce Banner in a fucking cave, wait till he turns into the Hulk. It's your classic Jekyll and Hyde story. Army helicopter. He destroys the footage, Spider-Man. They want to make a new movie about the Hulk. Spider-Man gets enough money to go home, takes the bus. Well, you don't see who the Goblin is. They always wanted to tease who it would be. As a matter of fact, Steve Ditko left Spider-Man because him and Stan Lee disagreed on who the Green Goblin should be. The Green Goblin is somewhere in the city. My spider instinct can sense it. But where? He could be any place. He could be anyone. I must never relax my guard. And although he doesn't yet suspect it, our young hero will have a far different arch foe to battle before the Green Goblin again appears. And we'll tell you all about it next issue. So be here. We hate talking to ourselves. Let's get to the Amazing Spider-Man 15 real quick, just because it's Craven's first appearance. We kind of saw it in one of our previous lessons there, but I want to play around a little bit more too. And what we'll do is in the next class, when we do pages 15 and 16, we're going to do issue 16, and they're publishing right here, which just so happens to fit into our schedule. The Amazing Spider-Man Annual, which is Spider-Man's first battle with the Sinister Six. It's a long story. I think they reprint some old stuff in there too. And they're promoting a Daredevil here, which we'll also add to our reading list. You have 9 comic books to catch up on. Strange Tales 122, Fantastic Four, Thor, Giant Man, The Avengers, The X-Men, Kraven the Hunter. So now I just want to get a little piece of Kraven's origin again to help us get 13 and 14 written. Let's get back to the beginning. We saw all this already with Kraven, with him pretending to be with the chameleon. Oh God, I hate when the thing jumps ahead. Come on. There is a man to do the job, a man who'd relish the task. My old friend Kraven the Hunter, the most dangerous stalker on Earth. I'll send him a wire immediately. Grab your steno book. Get the story about the break. Kraven the Hunter is arriving from Africa. Yes, sir, but of course. Who is Kraven the Hunter, Miss Jameson? Kraven is a living legend, the greatest hunter of all. He's trapped and defeated every type of beast that lives, and always single-handed. Hi, Betty, I got your message. Here I am. Peter, I'm glad. Check it out. See, again, we could use all this. We got Liz Allen and Betty Brant competing for Peter's affections. Then Mary Jane comes in and throws a kink into it all. It's perfect. It's perfect! All right. I haven't had the pleasure. Parker, this isn't a meeting of the Lonely Hearts Club. You're here to take pictures of Kraven. Look alive, he's coming. There he is. And again, we're going to be using all this for our reference shots, which we'll get into in our final lesson. Kraven the Hunter. We want to use all the classic shit for our first one. You use too much modern art in your references, your artist is not going to draw anything new. You want to bring everything back retro. All these animals get out. Kraven fights the Cobra. I want to see what they're saying about it. Before Spidey can reach the spot, his incredulous eyes witness the greatest hunter of all time as he leaps into action. I defeated him now in the jungle. I can do it again. Just the right blow on just the right nerve center. I'll use the tranquilizing drug which I keep in one of my belt tusks to quiet him down. Then I'll be easy to handle. Holy smokes, that Kraven is a regular one-man army. No wonder he's so doggone famous. The way he's hassling those beats, them is about as necessary as a bouncer at a policeman's ball. Everything else, he's a mass of muscles. Look at the way he's lifting that gorilla. He must have played marbles with barbells when he was a kid. All right, so Peter comes and hangs out. No pictures. Get lost, useless. I'll have to talk with you later. Mr. Kraven, I'd like to ask what you're going to hunt here. Are there any wild beasts running around loose that I know of? You're wrong. There is one who seems more beast than human. He will be my greatest conquest. The most dangerous game in the world is man, and I shall hunt the most dangerous man of all, the one who calls himself Spider-Man. He's going to hunt me? Oh, brother! You know there are laws against that kind of thing. You can't just track down a human being in this country. So Jameson defends. All right. We'll see about that, Mr. Jameson. We shall see. That character's something tells me there's something more to all this than would appear on the surface. But what? What's his real reason for wanting to hunt me? So again, Betty Brant, Liz Allen, we're going to use this issue and issue 25. Kraven and Chameleon getting together. We've read all this already. I possess an undreamed of strength and speed which I obtained by drinking a secret potion, stolen from the witch doctor of a hidden African tribe. With one punch, I can stop the charge of a bull elephant. Not long after, a dramatic figure prowls the rooftops of New York, observing the vast panorama that lies below. There's a watchman tied up on the floor below. All right, so Kraven sets off a bunch of thugs so he can watch Spider-Man in action. It was very clever of the chameleon to order those unsuspecting fools to attempt a midnight burglary. I always study my prey in action before I begin the hunt. I need have no fear. He'll be a worthy foe. He has speed, skill, and daring. Spider-Man fucks some people up. He watches them fight. Greetings, Spider-Man. I've been looking forward to our first meeting, which shall also be your last meeting with anyone. Kraven! What's your angle, prick? Kraven beats the shit out of him, gives him a little nerve shot. So again, what Kraven's going to do here is to just scratch him with a little nerve toxin. But I just need the line. I've been coming here for many cycles. This tribe, this land. We see a carcass of a large serpent like a vampire's victim. We see the witch doctor. In the center of the square is a boiling cauldron. Lorded over by a witch doctor in the center of the sweat lodge. This is the witch doctor that Craven's been going to. Craven is bringing Spider-Man there to add something new to the potion. So I need Craven to say what I just said here in this line. I've been coming here for many cycles. This tribe, this land is the closest I can get to achieving that taste of immortality. But like many other creatures in the jungle, I have grown old and immune to the potion. But I am not ready to go to hell. I have grown old and immune to the potion, but I am not ready to go to hell. But I am not ready to court Mistress Death. So, like everything else in this game, I must up the ante. I must add to the equation. Before Peter could react, you see the steam has enveloped. The steam coming out of the cauldron has enveloped him in an almost hypnotic trance. The drum, oh god damn it. We gotta keep putting those in, I keep forgetting. Along with the drums. And this is where Craven will tell Spider-Man that he was hunting him. I thought my time had come. And then I heard about you. Which is why I spent the last year following you on your journey. Hunting you. I thought my time had come. And then I heard about you. Another night. Gifted by glorious purpose. By glorious genetics. Which is why I spent the last year following you on your journey. Hunting you. Eliminating distractions. Hunting you. Observing you. Eliminating your distractions. I thought my time had come, and then I heard about you. Another night gifted by glorious genetics, which is why I spent the last year following you on your journey, hunting you, observing you. from a distance, from a safe distance, hunting you, observing you, eliminating your distractions. Peter. Pirates. The salvage crew. So I have to say the salvage. The salvage crew. The pirates. Salvage crew. The pirates. That was Raven will say. Does he say it as he hits him with the toxin? Yeah, yeah. So we have all this. He's telling him. We're about the chameleon can thank him. Close up on Peter's hypnotized face as Craven runs a talon secured onto his pinky. As Craven runs a talon secured onto his pinky across Peter's cheek. We see it is a poisonous nerve toxin. As Craven runs a talon secured onto his pinky across Peter's cheek. We see it as a poisonous nerve toxin on the talon's tip, on the talon tip. As Craven is paralyzing Peter to harvest. Close up on Peter's hypnotized face as Craven runs a talon secured onto his pinky across Peter's cheek. We see it as a poisonous nerve toxin on the talon tip as Craven is paralyzing Peter to harvest him. Craven will say, casualties of war, Peter. We are knights. Bound to aid in each other's evolution. I am the hunter. Oh, God. You ever get these new scams, these new bullshit fucking phone scams? You just get a random number. Here's my new number. Save it in your phone. Yeah, okay. You know who the fuck you are. Like, they wouldn't say their name first. You're supposed to say, who's this? Oh, is this Sheila? I fucking hate these people. Why can't we send them a phone virus to blow up their fucking phones? It's probably a robot. Casualties of war, Peter. Casualties of war. We are knights, bound to aid in each other's evolution. I am the hunter, and you are the prey. I am the hunter, and you are the sacrifice. Boom. He's sacrificing Peter for immortality. It don't get much creepier than that shit, man. And that is page 13. Let's finish this Craven the Hunter issue. And on page 14, we got to strap Peter down, try to cut him up. Peter's got to figure out how to fucking escape. How does he escape? Is it just the old fashioned breaks his bounds? I don't know about that. Peter could stall him. He could stall him. Yeah. Die. A miserable fucking death. Waiting on this cosplay model to write to me. Both ideas are great. I like to do both because I'll have fun doing either way. But I think the pajama party would be a cool one to start with. All right, he wants to do the pajama party. Good. I have to get reference pictures for him to do. For the AracKnight cover. Yay! We literally have the first cover in motion. So Renato Camillo is going to be doing the strip poker cover. So as you see this class, you see the cover is already in motion. Jose Varese is going to do the Yakuza Spider-Gwen cover, of course, and Iago Maya is going to do the Slave Leia Mary Jane Frozen Spider-Man cover. Boom! Fucking right. Fucking right. Fucking right. Who are you? Are you the girl I love? I love you. Shut up. Baby daddy's working. Shut up. All right. Spider-Man and Craven beats the shit out of Craven. Makes him fucking chase him. Gets the camera. He's dizzy. He's got the nerve damage. I don't get it, Craven. You say he's far stronger, far more dangerous than you thought, and you're happy about it? Of course! He's the kind of foe I've always wanted. Want to test my mettle to the fullest. What a triumph this would be for me. How sweet will be the fruits of my victory. Now, my many-faced friend, let us plan our next deadly trap for Spider-Man. The thrill of the hunt is making my blood boil with anticipation. Well, I chose well when I picked you. You're even more merciless, more dangerous than I remembered. All right, Peter's feeling better. He's shaving. She wants him to meet Mary fucking Jane. It's like, oh, Aunt May, leave me the fuck alone. I'm banging Betty Brant, who's fucking jealous and annoying. Craven's coming in. Watch your voice, Jameson. That's to be perfectly legal. As much as I hate Spider-Man, I won't stand for anything that violates the law. Watch your voice, Jameson. You're talking to Craven the Hunter. Nobody dictates to me. See, we can have Chameleon appearing as Craven the Hunter at Now Magazine. So Peter could be like flipping out, but like, what the fuck, man? I killed this motherfucker. You died. And Craven will be back, but as the chameleon. We got a lot of pages to play around with. If this story is interesting, we play around there. His nerves are still acting up. He's dropping fucking beakers. They're all still making fun of him. Defeat of Spider-Man imminent, says Craven. He's taunting him in the newspapers. What if Craven does defeat me? What will become of Aunt May? The Spider Tracer. You put the Spider Tracer in the problem. He can't shoot his webs right. Craven and fucking Chameleon are still drinking. What makes you so sure that Spider-Man will come after you, Craven? It's the law of the jungle, my friend. The desire to survive. He knows he must stop me in order to save himself. Don't forget I have studied him the way a skilled hunter studies any intended prey. I know his nature, his instincts. It is I who control the hunt. It is time for him to find me. Here's what we'll do. If I get anywhere near Craven, my spider spins ought to tip me off. In fact, it's starting to tingle. We're going to write about this whole thing in our Kickstarter. And now my quarry has at last made his fatal mistake. The stage is set. The moment has arrived. It is now time for the attack. The hunter takes over the hunt. See, Craven's got to use trickery. So what I'm thinking here is Peter's got to keep Craven talking while his healing factor kicks in. We got one chance. They say a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Spider-Man breaks the webs. The sequence you witnessed just took place in the entirety of an incredibly short space of 3.5 seconds. Due to Spider-Man's combined powers of quick thinking and rapid action, So they're showing you Spider-Man. Oh, he puts the magnets on his arms that attach his arms to his legs. They have a small built-in bell. So we can't use this here because Spider-Man and Kraven are fighting on a fucking like tropical island. There's no modern technology. Kraven's literally got to cut him up. Kraven doesn't have a lab here. Well, Kraven's not a fucking scientist. Kraven is just an old-fashioned brutish hunter. Spider-Man's a chemist. So I like this because we were getting our idea. Spider-Man's got to stall Kraven. I need these 6 panels to be Spider-Man stalling Kraven, his fucking strength kicking back in, and him whipping some ass. You know, Kraven can throw a fucking spear at Spider-Man, he can catch the motherfucker, swat Kraven coming down. So I like this. Kraven's hunting him. Here in the shadowy gloom, the advantage is mine. I dodge Kraven's next just in time. These blame bells. See what we're getting? See how we read through the comic books to get our ideas for the pages? We match it all in like it's fate. Spider fluid. Now remember, Peter doesn't have spider web shooters yet. You can say he needs the chameleon. That's why you're here. You seem to be 2 Cravens. You haven't won yet, Spider-Man. Craven is still hunting for you, and nothing that lives can escape him for long. I'll have my revenge on you yet, you bitch. You asshole. I don't hear any bells. Spider-Man thinks he can trick me by not moving. So they put bells on him. See, Craven's a cheap shot. He throws the mask. I've got to get away long enough to devise a new plan. They'll never find me in the woods. There is no jungle trick I haven't mastered. Craven the Hunter still can't be beaten. Spider-Man is probably still wandering out in circles down below, trying to guess where I disappeared to. Little does he dream that I'm as much at home as any dark creature in the jungle. Soon he realizes there's no chance of finding me. His spider beam! Shit! Break speed. See, Craven talks to himself. It was just a lucky break, but I'll lose him for good. Now as I dash at breakneck speed through the shrubbery and the shadows. Nice try, Craven. You make a real dandy butterfly collector. He's found me! Again! It's impossible. I've been a fool. I've underestimated that accursed spider instinct of his. But now I'll outmaneuver him. I'll kick his ass. I've got the speed of a cheetah, the cunning of a fox, the ferocity of a tiger. Victory is mine. He's coming. Now for the oldest jungle trick of all. No moving, no breathing. I'll be playing the part. Playing dead. Time to strike. No, you don't. My nerve punch. Fuck your nerve punch. You're mocking me. No one can do that and live. How does it feel being the receiving end of a change, oh great white hunter? Once I have trapped you in my net, nobody can most as fast as that. Maybe not, but it's very spider. It's not human, he says it's not, but it's very spider. We gotta get the wise assery back in here. I've lost the advantage. I've tried every attack, every trick I know. Where are you going? The jail is the other direction. I like that line. I've got to run. I've got to escape. Mustn't let him get to me. I don't want to be caught. Not by him. And so the hunter becomes the hunter. Hey, Craven, another web. This one strung between 2 trees. I can't push through it. He catches Craven in a web. And like all those who flee in blind panic, in unreasoning fear and cowardice, the hunter at last is caught. Now I'll just get out of these 2 little bracelets of yours, Craven. I've got more good news for you. My shaking has stopped. I guess strenuous exercise was the antidote for your potion, eh? Then the victorious teenager takes the key from his trapped foe. I don't know what to do with you. You're too bad-tempered to keep as a pet, and you're too old to adopt. He's right to me. Cook, Unity's been delivered. Fuck yeah. I guess I'll just leave you here till the police find you. If you promise not to try to hunt the first little rabbit, the squirrel that comes by. Wait, you can't just leave me here like this. Want to bet the police are coming now to investigate the lights aren't unlit in the park? They'll find you conduct a little investigation, see all the fun things you've got to look forward to. They've already picked up the chameleon. Little front page picture for Jonah. He gets the pictures in. Exclusive pictures of the chameleon. Nobody even knew he was back in the country. You deserve a big bonus for this. Miss Brandt, open the safe and give Park one of my personal bars of milk chocolate. Betty Brandt. Supposed to meet the Watson girl tonight. And then she couldn't meet. Tries to call Betty. She hangs up. He tries to call Liz. He's out with Flash Thompson. What's kind of cool is these 2 end up in an Iron Man storyline in Tales of Suspense. You're both getting off easily by being merely deported from this country. Just make sure you don't come back. This is the old liberal fucking New York, huh? A steamer prepares to head for South America. Are you going to let them do this to us, Craven? Of course! I'll get back in shape hunting in the jungles of the Congo. And then when I'm more powerful than ever, we shall return and continue our hunt for Spider-Man. A hunt which will never end until he is destroyed. Maybe a trip here to the docks will help me forget about Betty for a while. Gee, I'd like to be on that ship right now. It looks so peaceful, but I'm not that lucky. So the irony is that his enemies are on that fucking ship, and that's the one he wants to be on. So we read ahead one issue because I needed some help with Craven here to really just fine tune his personality. Because we're making him the throwaway villain instead of the main villain, but we bring him back, but it's the chameleon. On sale next, Amazing Spider-Man 16 and Great New Spider-Man Annual. Those two issues will be the ones we use tomorrow, our next class, to write pages 15 and 16. So we used Amazing Spider-Man 15 to help us write 13 and 14. All right, you fucks. All right, let's do this shit. Spider's Web. They talk about the annual. Daredevil. Just wait till 3 goes on sale. It features the Owl, Overlord of Crime. It started on Yancey Street, the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, Strange Tales. Started with just, I think it was Human Torch and Doctor Strange, and then they turned it into like Nick Fury's title when they stopped doing Nick Fury and the fucking Howling Commandos. Tales of the Astonished Nick Fury, Howling Commandos, New Avengers, and now the big news. The Spider-Man Annual #1 goes on sale in June. It features Spidey battling the Sinister Six and just kiss who they are, and has more doggone feature pages and Spider-Man surprises than you dare to hope for. Be sure to reserve your copy at your news dealers now. And of course, our regular Spider-Man mag goes on sale in June. So you Spidey fans have it made. So, till we meet again, real soon here, remember, be gentle to spiders. One of them may be Petey's nephew. So when we next get together as a class, we'll be doing Amazing Spider-Man 16, which features a rub that makes sense. You see how like the 2 issues ago they're trying to get the rub to the Hulk, they're always trying to get the rub to the Fantastic Four, and now they throw a little tag team in here with Daredevil so they can give Daredevil the rub. I guess he's about 2 or 3 issues in. We gotta get that on our little reading list here. Get there. Well, people, let's close this off because we've got one more page to write together. Brought to you by the new Faro's Lounge Kickstarter. All right. So, we've got 6 panels here. We've decided, oh, I love when the number goes up when I'm doing it live. All right. Peter comes to, and he is covered in sweat as he is tied up and suspended over the boiling cauldron. He is restrained by the tribesmen as Craven is holding a large and sharp blade. Steam is everywhere, and all right. Peter comes to, and he is covered in sweat as he is tied up and suspended over the boiling cauldron. He is restrained by the tribesmen, as Craven is holding a large and sharp blade. Steam is everywhere. S effects of the drums thumping in powerful rhythm, the bass almost shaking the ground. Craven approaches. I have hunted and harvested every predator known to man. I have hunted and harvested every predator known to man. I have eaten their hearts. I have swallowed their souls. And now, Peter, I ask you to make that sacrifice. Are we getting creepy? Is he just gonna cut his fucking heart out? Peter's got a stall. Wait, Craven. Kravinoff. You know, I mean, we can't just go right to humor here. He's about to chop his fucking heart out here. I have hunted and harvested every predator known to man. I have eaten their hearts. I have swallowed their souls. And now, Peter, I ask you to make that same sacrifice. Wait, Kravinoff. We putting Wade Kravinoff in there? God damn it. I've hunted and I like this line. I've hunted and harvested every predator known to man. I have eaten their hearts. I have swallowed their souls. I've swallowed their hearts. I have consumed their souls. I have swallowed. I have swallowed their hearts. I have consumed their souls. And now, Peter, I ask you to make that sacrifice. And I'm like, wait, Kravinoff. If it doesn't work, another casualty, another casualty of war. Then I like that. That I like. That's very Bond villain. I have hunted and harvested every predator known to man. I have swallowed their hearts. I have consumed their souls. And now, Peter, I ask you to make that sacrifice. And if it doesn't work, another casualty of war then. Even in his captured state, Peter attempts to stall Craven. Even in his captured state, sweaty state, Peter attempts to stall Craven. Even in his captured state, Peter attempts to stall Craven. Peter attempts to. Why not work out? Why not work out an installment plan? Why not work out an installment plan? Plenty of blood and organs to go around. Your levity, your levity in this current position, your levity in this current position has earned my admiration. Your levity in this current position has earned my admiration. You are a brave knight. Nah, I'm just stalling. I like it. Nah, I'm just stalling. Nah, I'm just stalling. I like that. Your levity in your current Your levity in this current position has earned my admiration. You are a brave knight. Nah, I'm just stalling. Close up on Craven, raising his blade and stalking towards Peter. I don't like him talking about the Sinister Six. I want him to have his own agenda here, and then we can reveal later on that he's working with the Sinister Six. He mentions the Sinister Six. That's way too cheesy. I don't need to have the Doctor No moment where it's like, I'm a member of Spectre. I want this to kind of look like it's isolated. Craven is just using Peter for himself. I was going to throw a line in here of like, oh, the people I answer to, but he doesn't answer to them. He's part of the Sinister Six. He can have the ring. Oh, you know what? Fuck yes. 1 second. Let's add the ring. Fuck the Talon. Coming out of the cauldron is enveloped him. Close up on Peter as Craven runs a Talon. We see it as a poisonous nerve toxin on the Talon tip is crazy. We see on the pinky, okay. Onto his pinky across Peter's cheek. On Craven's pinky, we see a pinky ring slightly opened at the center, which we see contains the poisonous toxin. On the pinky ring, we see the logo of a specter, a demonic looking octopus. Octopus like creature. Yes! Casualties of war, Peter. We are knights, bound to aid in each other's evolution. I am the hunter, and you are caught. And you are the hunted. We are knights, bound to aid in each other's evolution. I am the hunter, and you are defeated. He beat him. That's all Craven cares about. Craven wants the W. Peter comes to. He's covered in sweat. He's tied up and suspended over the boiling cauldron. He's restrained by the tribesmen as Craven is holding a large and sharp blade. SFX of the drums, thumping and powerful lift in the bass, is almost shaking the ground. I have hunted and harvested every predator known to man. I have swallowed their hearts. I have consumed their souls. And now, Peter, I ask you to make that sacrifice. And if it doesn't work, another casualty of war then. Why not work out an installment plan? There's plenty of blood and organs to go around. I am quite adept at science. Why not show me to your lab? Eh. Why not work out an installment plan? There's plenty of blood and organs to go around. there any chance you have a freezer? All we need is a freezer. Why not work out an installment plan? There's plenty of blood and organs to go around. All we need is a freezer. All we need is a freezer and some patience. Your levity in this current position has earned my admiration, has earned my respect. My admiration. You are a brave knight. Nah, I'm just stalling. Close upon Craven Raven's blade and stalking towards Peter. Your levity in this current position has earned my respect. You are a brave knight. Close upon Craven Raven is raising his blade and stalking towards Peter. Now, old man. Now, old man. I'm just stalling. He's got to insult him, calling him an old man, because that's the Craven's thing, is that he's getting old. Now, old man. I'm just stalling. Close up on an annoyed Craven, raising his blade and stalking towards Peter. Stalking and hovering over Peter. Now, old man. I'm just stalling. The guilt over your parents. He's got to insult him. Now, old man, I'm just stalling. Your levity in this current position has earned my respect. You are a brave knight. Now, old man, I'm just stalling. And you're no knight, just a cheap shot artist. Now, old man, I'm just stalling. And you're no knight. You're just a cheap shot artist. Another bully in the schoolyard. Like that. Now, old man, I'm just stalling. And you're no knight, just a cheap shot artist. Another bully in the schoolyard. Close up on annoyed Craven, raising his blade and hovering over Peter. The guilt over your parents led you to this trap. The guilt over your parents led you to this trap. My anger outweighs my guilt. And you're out of time. The guilt over your parents led you to this trap. My anger outweighs my guilt. My anger is what makes me powerful. and you're out of time. Boom! My anger outweighs my. So he says the guilt. Craven's annoyed because he's saying, "You're not a knight. You didn't trap me. You fucking, you didn't hunt me. You fucking just, you took advantage." Craven gets annoyed, holding that fucking blade over his heart. And he says, he's annoyed. The guilt over your parents led you to this trap. And he says, my anger outweighs my guilt. My anger is what makes me powerful. And you're out of time. In a burst of anger and strength, Peter has stalled long enough to regain his strength, which he uses to snap his arms forward to break his restraint ropes. To snap his restraint ropes. Steam. Peter has stalled long enough to regain his strength, which he uses to snap his arms forward. Snap his arms forward. Snap my arms. As effects of the ropes snapping. Steam goes wayward in all directions. And Peter will be falling on top of the cauldron. Okay. In a burst of anger and strength, Peter is stalled long enough to regain his strength, which he uses to snap his arms forward to snap his restraint ropes. As effects of the ropes snapping, his steam goes wayward in all directions as Peter will be falling on top of the cauldron. We have Craven just shout, no! No! We pan to the outside of the hut as the steam is erupting from every corner as we see it collapsing in an explosion of steam and escaping tribesmen. We pan to the outside of the hut as the steam is erupting from every corner as we see it collapsing in an explosion of steam and escaping tribesmen. This effects of the hut collapsing. We pan to the outside of the hut as the steam is erupting from every corner. The idea is that you cut to the outside. Peter snaps his arms. We cut to the outside, and the fucking hut is just collapsing. Steam, tribesmen, arrow, shits go flying everywhere. So yeah, that's the biggest panel on the page. I'm gonna move these notes to the next page. Boom. The Knight's Code. No! Craven just shouting, fuck, We pan to the outside of the hut as the steam is erupting from every corner as we see it collapsing in an explosion of steam and escaping tribesmen. S effects of the hut collapsing. All right, get rid of all this. We see a large steam trail following Peter as he leaps from the exploding hut, exploding and melting hut towards canopy of trees and vines to swing to safety. So we need 2 lines here and we're done. We pan to the outside of the hut as the steam is erupting from every corner as we see it collapsing in an explosion of steam and escaping tribesmen. Now, if you saw, okay, what we can add here in terms of a narrative is everything that we're saying here. The steam erupts from every corner. It's, again, we could have Peter writing like a journal entry. And then when he comes back to Empire City, you can see Ben reading the journal, right? You have Ben reading the journal entry as he opens the door, and Peter again is sitting there. Welcome home, kid. So that's where we're trying to get to. We're trying to get to Peter and Craven having their final fight here. Craven getting killed, telling him the name of his parents' killer, Dimitri. So we get some closure. Because as we get to the end of 15 and 16 here, that'll essentially be the second act of our 24-page story. The second 8 pages is the second act. So you see how it all lines up? How we line it up? See, class? So we'll be ending Act 2, which we want to end with Peter and getting closure, defeating Craven, getting away, and getting the name of his parents' killer, which he will then use, come back to Empire City, and start his new life as a crime fighter. So the last 8 pages, the third act, will be him getting his outfit together, his gear, his name. This issue should end with him pulling a fucking thug somewhere and pulling the fucking Batman line. Who are you? I'm Spider-Man. That should be our last fucking shot. We've designed our covers, so our final class will be to do the budget. It'll be quick. Paint all the I's, cross all the T's, proofread the fucking script, and that will be class. So, we need these last 2 lines. Remember, these are journal entries. Peter narration. Oddly enough, it was in this moment that I finally understood. Oddly enough, it was in this moment that I finally understood. I was truly gifted, not cursed. He realizes that even though Craven was about to harvest his organs, he realizes that he's special. He can't just say, I'm special. Oddly enough, it was in this moment that I finally understood I was truly gifted and not cursed. Oddly enough, because again, he turned into a wise ass in that moment. Because again, you saw how we were reading this issue with him and Craven. The one staple of Spider-Man is he's a wise ass. But he didn't have enough wise assing in this script, and now he had it. In that ultimate moment, he's about to be cut up, where he realizes he just has to keep Craven talking, get his strength back, and escape. This is the moment in our script, towards the end of the second act, where Peter gets that wise ass fucking part of him. And he's him explaining it. Oddly enough, it was in this moment that I finally understood I was truly gifted and not cursed. Oddly enough, it was in this moment that I finally understood I was truly gifted and not cursed. And that's what finally oddly enough, it was in this moment that I finally understood I was truly gifted and not cursed. And that's what finally killed my fear. You see a large steam trail following Peter as he leaps from the exploding and melting hut towards a canopy of trees and vines to swing to safety. It was in that moment. It was in that moment that I finally wanted to come home. It was in that moment that I finally wanted to come home. Just had one more loose end. It was in that moment that I finally wanted to come home. I just had one more loose end. Bang. Ladies and gentlemen, page 14 is in the books. Let's lay out page 15 and 16 so you have your homework, you have your reading assignments, Amazing Spider-Man 16, and Amazing Spider-Man Annual #1. Turn it on your Marvel thing. Let's get page 15 laid out. Swinging through the vines, Kraven will, of course, catch up and spear tackle Peter. They will go tumbling into the center of a stampede. Kraven will be trampled while Peter escapes. They will come towards a cliff edge and fight down the edge, even over the cliff. They can fall together, where Kraven will break Peter's fall, and in the process, break his neck or back. Peter will give Kraven the chance at a knight's death or leave him here to the predators. Oh, I like that. You want a knight's death? Do I leave you here to wait for the predators? Be poetic, wouldn't it be? It would be poetic, wouldn't it? The hunter finally hunted down, helpless. I'll give you a knight's death, a warrior's death. I want the name, which you will give him. Dimitri. Peter leaves the blade and walks away or watches him do it. Page 16. Peter will finish his journal of his adventure and mail it to Uncle Ben. Ben will be reading it as he comes home and sees Peter there waiting for him. They will begin to put together his Spider-Man ensemble. The utility belt, the simple situation is that Peter now knows who killed his parents, and is home for vengeance. Ben may try to distract him by telling him start a new life. They will revisit his parents' lab, which will have been abandoned and dusty, using their old schematics. They will create the web shooters and Spider-Man black suit. All right, we have this part already where he's going to die. I'm probably going to kill him on page 15 and then 16. Peter cleans up and goes home. Uncle Ben will make a crack at Peter and say, who do you think I am, kid? Alfred? Or do I look like Alfred to you? Well, there have been several interpretations. Boom! We have laid out pages 15 and 16, ladies and gentlemen. In our next class, we will finish the second act and we'll start laying out the third act. We're about to kill off Craven. Craven was using Spider-Man. He wanted to harvest him. Peter's inspired by saying, I am special. If some fucking dude wants to cut me up for the greater good of evolution, something to live for. He'll finish his journal. He will send it home to Ben, but he will be there to meet Ben as it arrives. Well, no, just Ben's reading it and Peter's home. Peter comes home. We like it. We love it. We want some more of it. I think my dog wants to go to fucking Starbucks, so it's time to end this class. Peace, love, war. Buy something on the new Kickstarter. And everything else.